All right, start off giving a shout out to Coach Trout and the boys. Big win last night versus University of Texas in Austin. Anytime you can win a big ball game like that on the road, that does a lot for your program, man. So really happy for those guys and excited to see how they finish up this spring. I thought today we had a really sharp practice, shorter than normal with the spring game coming up on Saturday. Guys were sharp, flying around, energy's there. Guys are locked in, focused, and we'll have a walkthrough tomorrow, and then get ready for the spring game. I still trying to figure out exactly what the spring game format will be based off injuries and who's available. We'll get with our training staff this afternoon and tomorrow and monitor that and see what you have. So either way, it'll be a great day, and looks like it's going to be great weather, and really excited to kind of show off the beginning of what this Bobcat football team will look like. So that, questions?
With the spring game coming up on Saturday, just what are you looking to see from both the offense and the defense come Saturday?
I'm just hoping to get a lot of guys in there to play and get that experience. Like a game day type atmosphere. It's always a little different. You can practice, you can have scrimmages, but anytime you have fans out there and just to go out there and be sharp and really just get that experience for maybe some guys that haven't had that before here at home.
Now that we're through 4 weeks of spring practice, just overall thoughts about how the team's looking, and do you think they're better than where they were when they started?
Yeah. Coach Youth came up to me today, and just some of the players, not necessarily as a team, but some of the players individually, from where they started spring to where they're going to end spring is made tremendous improvement, and that's what you want to see, and start implementing some scheme stuff, but it's really about developing players, whether you're young or old. Some of the veteran guys are still developing, and guys that started last year continuing to perfect their craft. And I from that standpoint, I think we've made a lot of improvements, and so that's been good to see. Implementing some, just for the DBs and receivers, some more one-on-one work, and continue, because we want to play a lot of man, and so to do it, you gotta work it, and that's something I probably didn't do a good enough job last year as a head coach, but we were just so thin last year, depth, couldn't afford to towards the end after we lost some guys. So I'm really excited about both sides of the ball and special teams.
Who's someone who's really stepped up this season that, as you were saying in previous press conferences, that didn't get a chance, last season, but now has really kind of earned their spot during spring preseason, offense or defense?
Yeah, we got a bunch of guys I know you want to name, but I'll answer more of that on May 1st.
Coach, I know a lot of people are excited about the new players that are here, but looking at some of the returners, in terms of the retention you've seen from this past season into spring football so far, how good has that retention been?
It really has. It's been, and that was hiring Coach McCoyle and getting that, it's very easy to go out and hire somebody else, but obviously Coach McCoyle is a tremendous coach, and you can see the transition from year one to year two, and I didn't want to lose that. And so you've seen that, and obviously each coordinator is going to have their tweaks each year, and we're continuing to do that on really in all three phases. So that's been good to see. And offensively, anytime you have new quarterbacks, obviously PJ was here, but was in the meetings and that, but really did scout team last year. So getting those reps and seeing the quarterbacks continue to develop, and then I think for the most part, same thing. You're always going to add new tweaks, but you're, day one, 3 or 4 runs, your day one, 3 or 4 passes, are going to be things that you've continued since we were at UIW. So that's been good to see. And I think our vertical choice game, what we hang our hat on, is looked the best it's looked since I've been a head coach. So that's been good to see. And I think a lot of that, like you said, is just the reps, and these guys continuing to get reps and reps and reps. I'll throw one name for you, Chris Don. Chris Don's had a heck of a spring, and someone that was really my first commit. I got the job, whatever that was, December 1st, 2nd, really 1st, or 2nd. Yeah, whatever. It was on my birthday. But guy that I called right after I got the job, I recruited him at UIW, wasn't able to get him from Mesquite Horn, and he's like the mayor around Mesquite Horn. I mean, everybody loves him, and great kid, and great player, and has the opportunity to, if he continues the way he's going, to have a good year. I think he's a good player, and has brought the right attitude. He's up here all the time, and so I'm excited about Chris, and there's a bunch of other receivers that I could name that are having really solid springs. Bo Sparks, another guy that's had a really solid spring, and a guy that is going to play a big role for us.
Coach, I know that the position battles will intensify the closer you get to the fall, but how are those playing out right now? I know every position group has been competitive, but has there been any in particular, whether that's O-line, D-line, linebacker, that's been more competitive than the others?
I think O-line, D-line has probably been the most competitive, I would say. And you got some guys out right now that are going to continue throughout the summer to compete, and once fall camp starts to compete. But yeah, we've had some real battles, I would say, O-line, D-line, and obviously we got a lot of guys coming back, but it's not always just we've shown last year to rotate and on both sides. So we got a lot of depth there, and a lot of guys battling for positions.
Something I don't think has been talked about enough is, you look at the guys that aren't back in this past season, and a lot of your team captains. I think the only one that's back is Nash Jones. How do you go about, how are you seeing leadership develop right now in the spring in terms of filling those voids left behind?
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys last year that could have very easily been captain, but they just one of those things that just got here, and a guy like Caleb Culp stands out to me as far as a leader over there. Tory was a captain last year. Trying to think, obviously Ben Bell, a guy like Stephen Parker does it in his own way, continues to bring energy every practice. And then offensively, we'll continue to look to see, besides Nash, who those guys that step up. Obviously a guy like Joey stands out to me that brings it every day, and continues to be a leader in his own way. Obviously, Lincoln Perry, a guy that comes to mind. Yeah. Ishmael Mahdi that comes to mind. We got some great players that I think are that captains, leaders of the team. So Connor Fox, another guy. So I don't think we're going to lack for that. I think it's probably going to be, when these guys vote for captains, who, we might have to add some more people, because I think we got that for sure. The leadership is I don't think we're lacking on that.
You mentioned Tory Spears. I feel like he's closer to 30 than he is 20 right now. But how special is it to have him back here for another year? It was really tough circumstances for him last season, the way that he got hurt. But the fact that he's back for you, to have a guy with so many reps playing Division I football, what does that mean?
Yeah, I was it was one of those. At the moment, like I was pretty devastated. I was. It put me. I was in a dark place when that happened. I was, it hurt just because, it happened in practice, and you're sitting there, what could you do, all that kind of stuff. But he handled it the right way, and he's continuing to rehab and get back to where he will be. But he's the type of worker he is, and all that, he'll bounce back, and excited to get him back and get him out there and be around the guys. But he's in the meeting rooms and the walkthroughs, all that kind of stuff.
After the spring game this Saturday, what's next for your program?
So I have the spring game on Saturday, and then really we'll still lift and run and have meetings for a little bit longer, and then they'll focus on their finals, make sure they finish up the semester the right way, and we'll get right into the summer. We'll crank it up after Memorial Day. We'll have a team meeting, and then we'll start our summer conditioning program, and that's some of the best times of the year. You're not to football season yet, but you're getting ready, and like spring ball is like, I've really enjoyed this year's spring ball more than normal, probably because it's my first time consecutively at a place. So you enjoy that part of it, and you got the retention part, and everything's not brand new for the guys. So I think we've made great strides there. But I think this summer, in the summertime, is always like when you really find out like what who you're going to be and the work and the grind that goes into the summer. It's but then you get more free time because of less classes and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fun time for the players and coaches are will be here, then they go on vacation a little bit, so you get some family time, which is always fun in the summer. I always catch myself as like a head coach, like trying to enjoy those moments because I'm always like wanting to be here. And then as assistant, I was like, all right, what are the dates? I'm on vacation. Okay, and now it's like, hey, make sure you're in the office, all that kind of stuff. So, but it's summertime's a lot of fun.
As you mentioned, this is the first time you've kind of stayed in like one spot for more than 2 years. Just what does it mean that you're no longer moving, that you actually kind of have a place here?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome, and we love it here. Me and my family, like I said, we just bought a house, and my kids love it here. The coaches love it here. I think we have a great bond with the players. I love going out to the different softball and baseball and basketball, and I got to make it out to some soccer games, but. It's just a great community. I think anytime you got a president like we do, that makes it fun and easy, and it's a great time. I mean, I think the momentum that we have going on right now is pretty special, and obviously you got to take that with a grain of salt and just know that what you're doing is working, and the players that you're bringing in and the players' work is paying off, and the administration's help, the donors and the boosters, and just look what we're doing these next 3 days. You got a concert tonight, you got golf tournament, you got spring game. I mean, you got a lot of really cool things going on to support the Bobcats, and we beat Texas last night in baseball. So there's a lot of great things going on right now, and a lot of great ways to contribute and help our student athletes and help the athletics programs, and so. It's been a lot of fun just being a part of it, to be honest with you. It's always one of those jobs, like I told y'all, that I had circled, and so just kind of living it and being a part of it, and I just think it's cool. And whatever, I know it doesn't mean anything, but seeing people picking Texas State to do this and be, win the conference championship and go whatever, they had us picked and all that, like. Last year it was like, oh, you're gonna have enough O linemen to go play a game. Like, come on, So it's one of those deals where now we're a program that's on the rise, and a program that people know about, and although I was honorable mention, they put me on the face of this ESPN top 30 coaches, and like, one of those type, like, come on, man, that's not me. That's the players, that's the coaches, that's the administration, that's the donors. So. Just having everyone, come together, and it's been special. It's been a special year, and hopefully we get to jump in the river a lot more next year.
Jordan McCloud, with his 4 week being here at Texas State, just how has his progression been since day one?
Yeah, I think he continues to get better and continues to put in the work. You think. You see a guy, his film and all that, but until you really get your hands on him and get to see what he's all about, that's been fun, and seeing strengths and weaknesses and things that we can continue to work on. And he's a special player, and I think the thing that always just the accuracy, man. Like, he's extremely accurate, and you can win a lot of games with a quarterback that's extremely accurate. Great personality. I think that's probably been the biggest. From day practice 1 to practice whatever we're on 13, like the personality continuing, him getting comfortable with his teammates and all that. So that's been really fun to see. So he's a special player, and really fortunate to have him. But I think probably the thing that stands out to me the most is the accuracy and the leadership. I think both of those are exactly where they need to be, and so excited about him.
A word I keep hearing throughout this spring practice is just offensive consistency. You've talked about it, Coach Leftwich talked about it, even Coach Morris has talked about just being consistent. How important is it that the offense is continuing to stay consistent as y'all prepare for fall?
Yeah, I think that's just something, for whatever reason, last year, just the ups and downs, and so we got to continue to harp on the consistency and ball security and negative plays, the TFLs. When we're consistent and we stay ahead of the chains and eliminate bad football, we're tough to handle. And so that's what we're harping on, and you see it. You really do. You might have a bad play here, but then that next play we bounce back. Might have a bad, rack of plays, and then that next, when they get back out there, they go out there and do what they're supposed to do. So I think we're continuing to get there. We're not there yet. That's what the summer and fall camp's for, but I think we got a chance, to be pretty special offensively, but we got to go out there and do it.
We've been seeing a lot on, these NIL deals with all of the local restaurants here. I saw Jordan over there with the AJ's at the baseball game. Then there's Ish at Hangry Joe's. What does it mean to have these players, when they're signing NIL deals? It's also with a lot of these local businesses here in San Marcos.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going to, make our money. But it's been a lot of fun to see those guys getting that recognition. And look, like, just a little bit helps. It is like, and you see the way these businesses are getting promoted based off our student athletes. Like, are you kidding me? Like, everyone should do it. And I think you're going to see more and more of that because I'm not a business owner, but I promise you, if I was, I'd be having some of these guys. We need to get some O-line and D-line. We need to get those guys going a little bit, but. You see it. You're going to get the president retweeting, reposting on Instagram. You're going to get the head coach. You're going to get all these players. You're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people seeing your business and what you're doing to support, Texas State athletics. So I think it's been great to see, and I think you're going to continue to see more and more of that. And that's what our NAC's got to be. We got a special. Place here, and I think that's where we're gonna, really make strides in the NIL world.